The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison. This is a novel, ladies and gentlemen, and a 9-year-old Claudia and a 10-year-old Frida McTeer live in Lorraine, Ohio, with their parents. It is the end of Great Depression, and the girls' parents are more concerned with making ends meet than with the lavishing attention upon their daughters, but there is an undercurrent of love and stability in their home. McTeers take in a broad border Henry Washington and also a young girl named Piccola. Piccola's father has tried to burn down his family's house, and Claudia and Frida feel sorry for her. Piccola loves Shirley Temple, believing that whiteness is beautiful and that she is ugly. Piccola moves back with her family and her life is difficult. Her father drinks, her mother is distant, and the two of them often beat one another. Her brother, Sammy, frequently runs away. Piccola believes that if she had blue eyes, she would be loved and her life would be transformed. Meanwhile, she continually receives confirmation of her own sense of ugliness. The grocer looks right through her when she buys candy. Boys make fun of her, and a light skinned girl, Maureen, who temporarily befriends her, makes fun of her too. She is wrongly blamed for killing a boy's cat and is called a nasty little black bitch by his mother. We learn that Piccola's parents have both had difficult lives. Pauline, her mother, has a lame foot and has always felt isolated. She loses herself in movies which reaffirm her belief that she is ugly and that romantic love is reserved for the beautiful. She encouraged her husband's violent behavior in order to reinforce her own role as a martyr. She feels most alive when she's at work. Cleaning a white woman's home, she loves this home and despises her own. Charlie Pecula's father was abandoned by his parents and raised by his great aunt, who died when he was a young teenager. He was humiliated by two white men who found him having sex for the first time and made him continue while they watched. He ran away to find his father but was rebuffed by him. By the time he met Pauline, he was wild and ruthless man. He feels trapped in his marriage and has lost interest in life. Charlie returns home one day, finds Piccola washing dishes and rapes her. When Piccola's mother finds her unconscious on the floor, she believes Piccola's story and disbelieves Piccola's story and beats her. Piccola goes to Soup Head Church, a sham mystic, and asks him for blue eyes. Instead of helping her, he uses her to kill a dog he dislikes. Claudia and Frida find out that Piccola has been impregnated by her father, and unlike the rest of the neighborhood, they want the baby to live. They sacrifice the money they have been saving for a bicycle and plant marigold seeds. They believe that if the flower live, so will Piccola's baby. The flower refuses to bloom and Piccola's baby dies when it is born prematurely. Charlie, who rapes Piccola a second time and then runs away, dies in a workhouse. Piccola goes mad, believing that her cherished wish has been fulfilled and that she has The Bluest Eyes. So, this is the story of The Bluest Eyes by Toni Morrison. Bluest Eyes is a complex 20th century narrative exploring, in part, how perception of beauty determine an individual's sense of self-worth and capacity for self-love. Morrison, as event unfold in the life of novel's protagonist, Piccola Breedlove, demonstrate that social construct around beauty disempower and corrupts individual, especially those who live on the margins of society. Each of the novel's major conflict, product of race and class, is interwoven with Piccola's internal conflict, her unmet desire to be loved by her parent, her friends, her community, and even herself. The characters around Piccola, as their backstories illustrate, are trapped in their own tragic conflicts. They are products of their own histories and are therefore unable to understand, love, or support Piccola. Like her, they are aware that beauty and attention, according to magazines, newspaper, and window signs, require being blue-eyed, yellow-haired, and pink skin. That understanding, which defines personal value, creates each of the conflict that permeate the lives of novel's central character. They are, by virtue of race and social status, made to feel ugly, and by this self perception leads to self hatred and often abuse. Piccola first becomes truly aware of this harsh reality when she goes to the store to buy candy. The plot inciting incident. The store owner is rude and treat her as if she is not only invisible but untouchable. The owner is white and respected member of the community, so his rejection confirmed that Piccola has just begun to realize the social construct defining beauty also established personal value, deeming blonde, blue eye, and white girls pretty and worthy, while dark skinned girls like her are deemed ugly and worthless. As the narrative rising action accelerate toward the eventual climax, Piccola's feeling of rejection and isolation grow. Her sense of self worth declines as events reinforce her mistaken identity. That appearance defines her value. She understands the Maureen, a lighter skinned black girl from a wealthy family, is loved for her appearance. Not only do the boys in the neighborhood share a common crush on Maureen, but even the girls think she is beautiful. Piccola receives a similar message from her own mother when she burns herself on a cobbler rather than comforting her. Her mother comforts the little white girl, her employer's child. For Piccola, each of these even serves to confirm her feeling that she does not merit affection. In the novel's climax, Piccola father Choli, a product of his own past, rapes her and impregnates her. His drunken rage, rooted in feelings similar to those of Piccola about herself, is the expression of his own self hatred, feeling associated with his mother abandonment and his humiliation at the hands of white men. Although he may in some way love his wife and daughter, his behavior only services serve to reinforce Piccola's self-perception. She cannot find love, nor does she feel that she deserves it. In the aftermath of Piccola's rape, event in the novel following action driven her even further into the isolation and feeling of lovelessness. Her mother beats her when she discovers that Choli has done, and driven to desperation to become beautiful and worthy of affection. Piccola, in an even foreshadowing the conclusion begins a break from reason altogether. She visits Soup Head Church, a disreputable preacher, and begs him to give her blue eyes. Pregnant and subject to the community's condemnation, she is left even more isolated and alone. Peccola's conflict in the novel's disturbing resolution ends in she descends into madness symbolically. She receives her blue eyes. She can no longer perceive the reality that led her to descent. As she embraces the only intimacy she can find, an imaginary friend, she says that others envy her blue eyes, leading them to ostracize her. Claudia, the narrator, concludes that Piccola's ugliness allows others to look better, a claim that maintains the destructive perception of beauty. Fed by racial and social prejudices, this had led to Piccola's downfall in the first place. The world remains as it had been the novel's outset, although Piccola, in a tragic sense, has been freed. So this is the story and the analysis of The Bluest Eyes by Toni Morrison. I hope you will enjoy this. Thank you.